Hey, what's up? My name is Daniela and welcome to a new video. So as you can see, we are back on my Goodreads account and I'm going to continue with decluttering my TBR. I've actually decided that I want to change my tactics a little bit because now I have two TBRs on Goodreads. In the exclusive shelves, I have one to read and to read long list, and I have decided that I want to change to read long list to maybe someday, and it's going to be just a reference place full of books I might get to someday, but I'm not interested in them right now, and I want my want to read shelf to be much smaller and full of books I can see myself read this year or the next year, just in the near future, and not just every interesting book I've ever heard of. So that's the plan. I would say that now we are at 347, so ideally I would get under 150. Yeah, let's go to my want to read shelf and let's sort the books from the most recent ones this time. So these are the books that I added more recently, so I hopefully remember more about them. Fortune was Sworn. Okay, Becca in the books just talked about this. It's a fake romance. It sounds great. I could definitely see myself reading this very soon. Light Again, it's a book with rap ace. Let's Get Actual is a romance that I added recently, and it is supposed to have some like online communication or texting content, which is something I really enjoy. See Me, it is a nonfiction book that was recommended by Lou from The Reading Queen. Strike Up the Band is the third book in a series, but it has rapper ace. The Anti-Virginity Pact. This is a new book by Katie Wismar, aka Kate's Book Date on YouTube, and I love her videos, so I definitely want to read this and support her. I have requested it from NetGalley, so we'll see if I get it. If not, I will just pre-order it or buy it once it's available. Then we have With Malice by Eileen Cook. So this is a young adult thriller, which is interesting, and as you can see, it came from a recommendation by Ariel Bissett. Albatross, same story. Ariel talked about it in her recent video. The Book of M. So I think this is a book Dwell Sasha was talking about, and it's a dystopia. If I Never Met You, recommended by Chandler Ainsley, and it is a diverse adult romance, so I'm definitely in. The Switch, the new book by Beth O'Leary. So Beth O'Leary is the author of The Fletcher, which was one of my favorite books of last year, so I'm definitely reading her new book. Betrayed by Emily Henry, so definitely something I want to read. Siri, Who Am I? Anticipated release. Yeah, it's coming out in May, and also another adult romance. I Think I Might Want You, and I Think I Might Need You. So these are books 2 and 3 in the Love Sisters book by Christina C. Jones, and I read I Think I Might Love You last month and I adored it. My Dark Vanessa. So this is a book that is really hyped right now, and it's about a student-teacher romance. It's supposed to be very dark, and I'm definitely very much interested in that. And Edited Life, Simple Steps to Streamlining Your Life at Work and at Home by Anna Newton. So she, I think, is a YouTuber, and I don't know her very much, but minimalism and stuff like that is definitely one of my favorite topics in the nonfiction genre. So I definitely want to read this soon. Then we have Frick by Alex Gino. So Alex Gino is the author of George, which is a middle grade novel about a trans girl, and this is their new novel. So Rick, there is supposed to be ace rap and some more queer rap, so definitely I want to read that. The Music of What Happens. So this is a diverse young adult contemporary. So yeah, let's leave it. Why am I not getting rid of something? What? It will happen, I swear. All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Urban. I think this is another young adult thriller. So I don't know, let's leave it in here in case I'm in a mood for a younger adult thriller. So then we have Jonathan Livingston, Seagull. So this was recommended to me on Twitter, and I was looking for a book set at a sea for the Owl's Magical Readathon. Let's move it to maybe someday. Song for a Whale, that's exactly the same story. The Cafe by the Sea by Jenny Colgan. I think I added this just because it said at the sea, but I found another book for the prompt. So let's move it to maybe someday. Places I've cried in public. So I definitely want to read a Hollyborn book. I actually own one now. I own How Do You Like Me Now, which is an adult one, and she usually writes young adult ones. I can't say that I want to read a ton of young adult, like set in high school and stuff, but also it's Hollyborn, and I haven't read anything by her, but like everyone speaks so highly of her, so I think I'm going to leave this for now. Then we have Full Disclosure, so this is a diverse young adult. Yes, I think this is about high school drama, but also the girl has HIV, and that's something I haven't read a lot about. Then we have Untamed. I don't know what that is. Like, I did it a month ago and I couldn't tell you. So apparently it's a nonfiction book, like empowering women and stuff. It sounds really good, but I already can't remember why I added this. So let's put it in maybe someday. Woman in Cabin 10. So this is Ruth Ware, and I have recently read The Turn of the Key, really enjoyed it, so now I really want to read the rest of Ruth Ware's books. Then we have two Matt Haig's books, and both of these are my physical TBR, so The Red List and Humans. So these definitely I am going to read soon, hopefully. Then we have a thriller, While My Eyes Were Closed. This is a thriller about a woman whose kid has disappeared, and I don't know, someone I watched probably recommended it, but there are definitely thrillers that I want to read more. Let's just put this in the maybe someday pile. Then we have Look. So I think now we will come to a portion of books that all come from CC, from Problems of a Book Note video, because she did an anticipated queer releases video. So these will all be queer, which means they have priority. So we have Look, yeah. Then One Last Stop. I don't think this is from the video. Yeah, it's coming out in 21. But this is a new Casey McQuiston book, and Casey McQuiston wrote Red, White and Royal Blue, which was one of my favorite books of last year. Again. So yeah, definitely I'm very excited for this. Then we have Real Life by Brandon Taylor. So this is a book about a queer black man who is studying or working at a university, and he's having a hard time there, and yeah, it sounds great. Then we have The Stars We Steal by Alexa Donne. So this has rep 8, so this is why it is here. The same goes for Belle Revolt. I hope this is how you pronounce it. Then we have Homie, which is diverse poetry. So as you probably know by this point, I want to read more poetry this year. So yeah, then we have a lot. So I don't know how to pronounce that. Also rep 8. Troubled Blood, which is book 5 in the Cormoran Strike series. So yeah, this is one of my favorite series of all time, so I'm definitely very excited to read this. This is coming out in September. Then we have Assassin's Apprentice by Hobb and Rob. So Hobb and Rob. Then we have Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. So I really want to participate in the Ketchup Book Club read-along of this series. And the live show for the first book already happened, but I ordered the book, but it was delivered to my parents' house and I couldn't get there, but I finally got my hands on it. So now I own it and I'm going to read it very soon. Then we have The Death of Mrs. Westaway, which is another Ruth Ware book. Then Red Rising, which is like sci-fi, I think. It's by Locked on BookTube, and it's definitely one of the series I would like to give a try. Then we have Mem, which I think this is like a dystopian or sci-fi book. Yeah, it's sci-fi, and again, it sounds pretty interesting. So yeah, then we have 80. This is my NetGalley TBR, and it's on my April TBR. Someday soon, this is NetGalley. Okay, so everything that is on NetGalley is staying because I want to read it. I need to read it. So Broken Perfection, The Secrets We Keep. These are just random books mostly. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, this is one of the more known, and this actually came up in the last video as well, and that's because I had a duplicate on my shelves, because like it was originally named The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, and then it was renamed to The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, so yeah, I had it as a duplicate on my shelves, but it's definitely on my TBR because it is a NetGalley book. Then a couple of more NetGalley books. These just are books that are randomly requested without knowing anything about them, as I do. Another Serenade book, so I really like Serenade. She is a really sassy anti-guru, and her non-fiction books are very funny, so I like them. So that's one of the books I actually knew something about when I requested them. And a couple of more NetGalley books. 18 Inches is on my April TBR. Okay, Things You Save in a Fire. So this is contemporary, adult contemporary, that is pretty polarizing, but adult contemporary is a genre that is one of my favorite genres, and I'm definitely willing to give it a try to a lot of books and to read random books as well. So this is Staying. Love from A to Z. This is a young adult contemporary about a Muslim girl, I think, and I haven't read a lot of these, so it's staying here. City of Girls, so this is like literary fiction, is it? Or historical fiction? I don't know what that is, but I know that Joshana from Joshana C loves this. I don't know, we'll just leave it here. The Overdue Life of Amy Byler, so this is an adult contemporary, so let's just leave it here. Then we have some more romances recommended by Chandler Ainsley, A Different Blue, Unteachable, Punk 57, Leo Loves Aries, and Blurred Lines. So, as I have said in my last video, I want to get more into romance, adult romance. So yeah, these are just some recommendations by Chandler, and I really enjoy her videos. So let's just leave them here. Then we have The Friend Zone, again, adult contemporary. American Fairy Tale, so this is book 2 in the Dreamer series. I read the first book, which is called American Dreamer, and I really liked it, so I definitely want to continue with the series. I feel bad about my neck and other thoughts on being a woman. So I actually don't know who Nora Ephron is, and like, I don't know any celebrities. Like, it's weird, but I just, like, when there are lists like who would like to be in a house, and I just like know one person from the 30 on the list. So yeah, I don't know who she is, and although it sounded interesting, and well, the reviews are not that good, or the rating. Let's just put it in maybe someday. Love and Olives. So this is book 3 in the Love and Gelato series. I love the first book. I want to read the new volumes. The Invisible Orientation and Introduction to Asexuality. So obviously I'm interested in this. The Cybernetic Tea Shop. So this has Rep Ace, and I also bought it on ebook. So definitely. And Blank Spaces is exactly the same story. Rep Ace, and I bought it on ebook. Obviously I was just adding some books with Rep Ace, and these are all staying here. So you have Coffee Cake, Perfect Rhythm, His Quiet Agent, Upside Down, and We Go Forward. I think these are all contemporaries. American Panda, so this, I think it's about a college girl. Archer's Voice, this is a romance that is pretty known. Then we have 180 Seconds by Jessica Park, so apparently this is another new adult romance. You Do You by Serenade, and Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a Fuck by Serenade. So I have read, I don't know, 2 or 3 of her books, and I really enjoyed all of them. So yeah, I definitely want to read all of her books. Then we have Girl Gone Viral by Alicia Ray. So this is book 2 in Modern Life series, the first book being The Right Swipe, which I loved. So obviously I'm going to read this one. The same goes for Take Your Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert, also the first book being Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which I also really loved. So these are just books that are so high on my TBR. This is not going so well in terms of decluttering, but well. Then we have The How and the Why by Cynthia Hand. So this is a book that was very recommended by Katie from Kate's Book Date, and I liked a book by Cynthia Hand previously, so staying. The Gravity of Us is a young adult queer contemporary, so it's staying. Heartstopper. Definitely I adored volume 1, so definitely want to read the next volumes ASAP. Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. So this is a fantasy series that is not that hyped on YouTube, but the people who talk about it rave about it, and it's just one of the fantasy series I would like to give a try. Then we have A Heart So Fierce and Broken. So the first book is A Course So Dark and Lonely, and I loved it, and I ordered this book, the sequel, on Book Depository, but after a month it just didn't arrive and I was refunded, so I still don't have the book. So I don't know when I will be reading this, but I definitely want to read it. Then we have Grit. I don't know what that is. So it's another personal development book, and this sounds like something I could really enjoy. So I'm going to keep it here. Let's mark it as nonfiction. Then we have The Body, a Guide for Occupants by Bryson. So another of his like educational books. I'm interested in this one as well. The Heart of Happiness is kind of random, so let's put it in maybe someday. The Great Unknowable End. So it's by Catherine Ormsby, and she wrote Touch Heart's Tolstoy, which is one of my favorite books. So definitely keeping it here. The Last True Poets of the Sea. This is a book Chelsea from Chelsea Dulling raves about, and it's also queer. So yeah, of course. D1. So this is a sci-fi book that a lot of people have been speaking highly about recently. So yeah, I'm interested. Black Girl Unlimited. I'm not very sure what this is, but I also heard good things, and it's diverse. Two Best Boys. So this is like a dystopian or fantasy, and it's about some competition, and a girl enters dressed up as a boy. But I can't say I can see myself reading this soon. The Weight of the Stars. Okay, it's a queer book, and it has a character whose mother is in space, I think, and yeah, there's a queer romance, so it sounds great. Girl, Woman, Other. So this is another diverse book, and I also heard people speak highly about this. Then we have Keep Faith. So this is an anthology, and it's basically about the relationship between faith and being queer. I'm not that interested in reading about religion, so let's put it in the second shelf. You Are Not Alone by Green Hendricks and Sarah Pickanin's. I have loved both of their previous books, An Anonymous Girl and The Vibe Between Us, so definitely this is my high priority TBR. Then we have Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas, so this is book 2 in the Throne of Glass series. I quite liked the first book. I don't feel especially compelled to read the rest of the series very soon, but I would say I want to. Then we have Opposite of Always. This is young adult diverse contemporary, so of course, okay. Helium is a poetry book that was recommended by Katie from Kate's Book Date. Bunny. Okay, so this is the kind of a weird book that Books and Lala recommended, and I've heard good things about it from other people as well, but it has some horror elements, so that's not for me, probably. I don't like horrors. It sounds interesting, but let's put it in maybe someday. Yes, No Baby. So I like Beck Elbetali's books, and I also already bought this on ebook, so definitely. Why We Broke Up. So is this like literary fiction? I know that Emma from Drinking by My Shelf talked about it. It does sound interesting, but not that much, so bye-bye for now. The Three Dragon Society. So this is like a cute graphic novel about dragons, I think. Yeah, I don't have that many graphic novels on my TBR. This is like, I believe it's cute, like I believe you, but I don't know if I will read it because I would have to buy it probably, and graphic novels are expensive, so I don't see myself doing it very soon. Art Stop by Laura Jane Williams. So this is, I think, another adult romance. Yeah, and I've heard good things about it, so let's leave it here. Where do crawdads sing? So is this historical or literary fiction? People have been raving about this and it does sound quite interesting, but I'm just so wary of historical or like literary fiction books right now, and I think I'm just going to put it here and then somebody else will rave about it and I will return it probably. But for now, I'm not that interested. Then we have Miracle Creek, and I am very interested in this one. So this is supposed to be a legal thriller, or just there is the trial element, and that's something I really enjoy. So I am definitely interested in that one. Then we have Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. So this is book 2 in the Nevermore series. I loved the first book, so I definitely want to read that. Then you have Writers and Lovers by Lily King. Again, another book recommended by Emma from Drinking by My Shelf, but I also think it's literary fiction, and I just, no. Then we have Loveless by Alice Oseman, so this is coming in July this year. I really enjoyed Radio Silence, and as I said, Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, and this is supposed to have Rep Ace, so I'm very excited about this. Then we have The Test by Sylvain Nouvel. So I read Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Nouvel. Everybody I know has been raving about it, and I bought it on ebook, so I'm definitely reading that. Then we have The Honeydone Lace by Christina Lauren. So I really like Christina Lauren books, and like nobody likes this book so far, but I think I'm going to read it anyway. Then Would Like to Meet by Rachel Winters. So I think this is another adult contemporary book. I can already see that I will have to go through this list again because, again, I'm not ruthless enough. I don't know what is wrong with me. But I don't know, these recent ones are just the ones I'm very interested in, so it's hard. It's so hard. Okay, please don't go before I get better. So this is poetry about mental health, and yeah, I have to keep it here. Then we have Minimal Guide to Living Simply and Sustainably by Madonna Olivia. So Madonna is one of my favorite YouTubers. She is a vegan YouTuber who does a lot of recipes and also videos on minimalism, and they are currently renovating a cottage in Cornwall, and I just love her so much. So I definitely want to read her book. Then we have The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I am not sure if I'm going to like this one, but like the tone and writing, let's say, sounds quite like Stranger Dreamer, and that was a book I had a hard time getting into, but I thought that it was worth it in the end, so I am willing to give both of her books a try. Then we have The Wicked King by Holly Black. I liked The Cruel Prince, the first book, so I definitely want to continue with the series. Then we have One Giant Leap, which is book 2 in Their Mighty Things, and I love that book. It's a book about a group of teenagers who are training for a space program, and it also has ace rep and just the competition factor and all of that. I really love that book. I gave it 5 stars, so I definitely want to read the sequel. Then How Do You Like Me Now? So I already mentioned that. It's on my physical TBR. House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. So yeah, I want to read that. Hey, Vengeful by V. Schwab. Definitely something I can delete, finally. So, I gave Vicious 3 stars. It was very disappointing. I don't know, I have some kind of problem with V. Schwab's characters because I just can't get attached or just bring myself to care. So, yeah, I'm going to delete this. I noticed I skipped 3 books earlier, so let's talk about them briefly. So I have Only Mostly Devastated, which is a young adult retelling of Greece. That sounds great. Then I have How to Survive the End of the World when it's happening in your head. So this isn't what it sounds like. It's actually a book about anxiety, and this was recommended by my in real life friend. So yeah, it sounds great. And then we have the Romance Book Club, which is another adult romance, which is very discussed right now, so yeah, it sounds good. So let's continue where we left. Then we have Goodbye Things, the new Japanese minimalism, again a minimalism book. It sounds great. Truly Devious young adult thriller, sounds great. The Bookish Life of Nina Hill, adult romance. So then we have Ink, and it's young adult fantasy or dystopian. It sounds good. but I don't think I will be reading it very soon, so maybe someday. Then we have books 2 and 3 in the Themis File series. Sleeping Giants being the first one, I loved it, so definitely want to read the sequels. Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. So the first book was City of Ghosts, and it was actually the book I liked the most from Victoria Schwab so far, but I don't know if I want to read the sequel very soon, so let's put it in maybe someday. Then we have the rest of the Raven cycle. I only read the first book, The Raven Boys, so definitely want to read the sequels. The same goes for Miss Byrne. I want to continue with the series. Then we have The Looking Glass. Yeah, I think I'm just not going to look into the books so much because then I'm like, oh, it's interesting. So apparently this is magical realism, which is definitely not one of my favorite genres, and I have no idea why I added it. So let's just put it in maybe someday. Passengers, so this is the same author as the one book, and I'm definitely more interested in the one than this one. So I'll just put this in maybe someday. Then we have Sick Kids in Love by Hannah Moskowitz. So this is a contemporary about chronically ill kids or like young adults. So I'm definitely interested in that. Then we have These Witches Don't Burn. I don't know why I have it here because witches are definitely not my buzzword. The Alibi Girl, so this is a thriller. It sounds good, but it's not on my list of the top thrillers I want to read, so let's just postpone it. Irresistible: The Rise of Addictive Technology and the Business of Keeping Us Hooked. So I might have got this on Audible because I had some credits and I got some books, and this might be one of them. So let's keep it here. A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. So I keep saying that I want to read this book, but will I read it anytime soon? As I said in my last video, I don't like to have a lot of classics on my TBR because it reminds me of required reading, and I just don't want to force myself to read these kinds of books. So let's just put it in maybe someday. Dash and Lily's Book of Dares. So this is a Christmassy book. Let's just put all Christmassy books to maybe someday because it's a seasonal thing and I'm not going to read it until Christmas time. So let's put it there for reference. My True Love Gave to Me 12 Holiday Stories, the same story. And One Day in December, this is an adult romance I'm very interested in, but I'm not going to read it anytime other than Christmas time. So again, maybe someday. Hopefully this year. Then we have The Other Bennett Sister. This is already out. I had it in my anticipated for this year. And obviously it's a retelling of Pride and Prejudice. Tarnish Are the Stars. Has SCRIBD. Freelance and Business and Stuff, a guide for creatives. So obviously it's a non-fiction book. I'm just not sure how valuable it would be for me. But Cindy from Read with Cindy rated it really high. So let's keep it here. Then we have Night House by Lee Bardugo. So this is a book set in college at Yale actually, and this is like the main thing that I'm interested in because I'm interested in everything Yale because of Gilmore Girls, and I'm not sure if like it's the right motivation to read this book, and I will read Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows soon. So I don't know when I will be getting to this book. So let's just put it in maybe someday. Steak Sauce Arc 1. I don't know what that is, but it is SCRIBD. Okay. City of Strife, also SCRIBD. The Lost Coast, Daughter of the Burning City. Then we have The Arrangement. I don't know anything about that. It's a thriller, but I'm not especially interested in it. So maybe someday. Royal Holiday, another Jasmine Gallery book. So she wrote The Wedding Date, which I really enjoyed. So I want to read the other books. Then we have another Christina Lauren book, Twice in a Blue Moon. Again, this one is not very loved on BookTube at the moment, but I think I'm just going to read like most of their books and decide on my own. Then we have 10 Blind Days. This is Christmas themed, so going to maybe someday. YouTubers, how YouTube shook up TV and created a new generation of stars. So the thing is, I'm interested in YouTube, like in general, but apart from BookTube and a couple of lifestyle or cooking channels, I don't know even the big YouTubers or whatever. So I'm just going to put it in maybe someday. Then we have Meet Cute. So this is another adult romance. That sounds great. Echo After Echo, I don't remember much about this. Everything Leads to You by Nina Lacour. So I want to read something by this author, but I think that We Are Not Okay is higher on my TBR. So I'll just put it maybe someday. Well Met by Jinda Luca. This is on my physical TBR. Frankly in Love by David Yoon. So I believe he's the husband of Nicola Yoon, and I loved her books, but I'm not interested in this one that much. My Love Love Wife by Samantha Downing. So this is a thriller. I heard good things about it, but personally, I'm not that interested. Then I have Lock Every Door, so I am interested in this one. Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. I think this sounded great as well, but let's just put it out of the way and read the ones I'm interested in more first. A Question of Us. Don't remember anything about it. Invisible Women, Data Bias in a World Designed for Men. I'm very interested in this one. It is what the title says basically. Before the Coffee Gets Cold. So this is another book that Emma from Drinking by My Shelf recommended. It's like about a time traveling cafe or something. My library has it, but of course I'm not getting it anytime soon. So I'll just put it in maybe someday. Little Bandage Days. I have no idea what that is. If cats disappeared from the world, same. Your dream life starts here. So that sounds like a non-fiction book, but I don't remember anything about it. Hey, I'm becoming more ruthless. I'm loving it. Daughter of the Pirate King. So this is by Trisha Levenseller. So this I heard has a good romance, but also I'm not that much into pirates. So let's just put it in maybe someday. Prince Charming. I think this is this queer young adult? It doesn't sound like it's queer, and although I really loved Red, White and Royal Blue, which was about the son of an American president being in love with a British prince, I can say that I'm that much into royalty. So let's downgrade this. This is book 2. This is How We Lose the Time War. So a lot of people talk about this, but also a lot of people say that it's confusing, and I'm not really sure what that is, and it hasn't intrigued me enough. I might read it someday, like actually read it, but I don't think it will be anytime soon. Before I Go to Sleep. So I think this is a thriller about a woman who like forgets who she is. So she like writes a diary to herself. I've heard mixed things about this, so let's downgrade. The Girl Before. So I read his other book, which was called Believe Me, and I quite enjoyed it, but I can't say it was anything amazing, so let's just downgrade. Then we have The Light of Heaven by a classic science fiction author, and I guess I wanted to get more into like classic sci-fi and fantasy and whatnot, but it's more like wishful thinking, so let's downgrade it for now. Middle Game by Seanan McGuire. I don't know. I'm not sure about this, and I want to finish the Wayward Children series first. Sorcery of Thorns. So this is definitely a fantasy I can see myself reading soon. It has something to do with like library. So maybe. Dating You, Hating You by Christina Lauren. So yeah, as I said, I want to read most of their books. Unfuck Your Habitat, You're Better Than Your Mess. So this is a book about like how to clean and organize basically. Very interested. How to Be a Boss. So this is just some kind of woman, I don't know. The Silent Patient. Yeah, as I said, this is one of the thrillers I really want to read. Annie's Holiday by the Sea and Summer Escape and Strawberry Cake at the Cozy Kettle by Liz Eels. So I read a book by her that I requested on Netgalley. I enjoyed it, but I can't say I am especially interested. Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. I definitely want to read more Brené Brown books because I loved Rising Strong. Then we have Alex Approximately. This is a romance that I've been really intrigued by, but I don't know much about it. Oh, so it's a young adult romance and it has online communication, so let's say I will keep it. Read, not your typical fairy tale. So I added this because the audiobook is narrated by Murphy Napier, which I love, but like, look at the rating. I'm not especially interested. Then we have Verity by Colleen Hoover, which is a thriller by her, and I got it as an ebook, so definitely on my physical TBR. Well, physical ebook TBR. News of Nightmares, yeah, I enjoyed Stranger Dreamer, so definitely want to read the sequel. Sorry I'm late, I didn't want to come. An Introvert's Year of Living Dangerously. So this is a Netgalley book, I will read it. Are We All Lemmings and Snowflakes? So this is another Hollyburn book, but I would say that I'm just going to put some Hollyburn books in the maybe someday because I added a lot and I don't have to have all of them in my main TBR, so I'll just move it here. The Unhoneymooners is definitely one of the ones by Christina Lauren I'm most interested in. The Wrong Game, probably some kind of romance, but I don't know. Everything is Fucked, a book about hope. So I really like The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson, but I don't know about this one. But okay, apparently it's very polarizing and some people just hate Mark Manson and some people love him. As I said, I liked the first book, so I will give this one a try as well. Then you have Deep Work by Cal Newport. So I read Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport and I was really disappointed by it because like he just went on long tangents and it wasn't worth it. But I might try this one. Well, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. So this comes highly recommended by many people. I'll skip it here. A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. So I have never read this and I recently read The Secret Garden. I enjoyed it, but I can say I want to have this classic on my main TBR. So let's just downgrade it. Heroine, I don't know, not that interested. The Year of the Introvert, yeah, I'm interested in this one. Hey, I actually reached the point where I stopped last time when I was going from the oldest books in my TBR. But let's just go through the rest very quickly again. And yeah, apply the new rules, so be more ruthless and move as many books as I can to the maybe someday pile. Somehow I skipped some books again. I feel like it's displaying weirdly after I like reload it after deleting something. But whatever, so let's just go through these as well. So Roomies by Christina Lauren, want to read that. The 5th season, definitely. This is a fantasy series. I want to give it a try. Longburn, I don't know what that is. Born a Crime, this is supposed to be good, but I'm not that interested. Am I Normally At, as I said, I'll just put Hollyburn books apart from the one I physically own on the maybe someday shelf. Girl Gone Wild, I don't know anything about that. Birthday, so I think this is about a trans character. Tell Me How You Really Feel, this is queer romance. Beyond the Black Door, fantasy with Ace Rep. Make time, how to focus on what matters every day. It sounds great. Hooked, how to build habit forming products. I'm not sure about that one. Overcoming Overwhelm, Dismantle Your Stress from the Inside Out. Sounds good. Love and Other Worlds, another Christina Lauren book. Internal Time, I'm very interested in this one actually. The Compound Effect, yeah, let's read that. And yeah, that's where I was. Also, I messed up a little bit last time and not all the books I marked as to delete were deleted. So I'm just going to go through them and delete all the ones I wanted to delete last time, plus all the ones I'm downgrading, etc. So yeah, let's do it. So I'm done with this round and I still have 256 books on this shelf. How is this possible? I guess I have to do another round because I said 150 and it's not like these books are going anywhere. They just will be in a different list. So it's not that hard. It shouldn't be that hard. So let's see. Okay, I went through it once more and I got to 171, which is pretty close to 150, and I just don't think I can do any better right now. There were also a couple of instances when I had more than one sequel from the same series on my TBR and I only want to have the book I'm supposed to read next on my TBR. But yeah, this was more painful than I expected, but I'm actually pretty happy with the result. So now this seems much more reasonable and manageable. So yeah. So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. In the description, you will find links to my social media, so you can follow me there. But that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye!